Good morning, everyone, and happy hump day. Parents. They have the greatest of intentions, but sometimes it leads to bad results. A lot of parents, especially in my generation, came from a very strong work ethic. It's fantastic. They worked nonstop. They sacrificed everything they had to be at our sporting events, musical events, whatever it was. And they worked and worked and worked. And they worked hard because their intention was that they wanted to work hard so that us as children didn't have to. They made sacrifices so that we didn't have to. The problem with that is it teaches us a poor work ethic. Because if we don't have to do the work, we never learn how to put effort in. And then all of a sudden, we expect everything. And that is why we have a huge generation of people who expect handouts. A large generation of people who don't want to put any work in, but want to get the results. A huge generation of people who expect results immediately because, well, when I asked for something, my parents gave it to me. And I'm not saying all parents are like this, and some did teach work ethics, but it was usually within the children themselves who created that work ethic. And they just mirrored their parents. And I can say that my brother and sister and I are all very hard workers. And it was my dad's intention to work as hard as he did so that we wouldn't have to. And in our case, we saw his hard work. And in my case in particular, I saw that I don't want to fucking do that. And not that I don't want to work, but I don't want to sacrifice my entire life working at a job where I'm miserable all the time just so that I can give my kids some things. And it's not like they spoiled us. My dad didn't make enough money to spoil us, but you know, he provided for us and we were happy. But I don't want to sacrifice my life like that. So in my vision of this, it is I'm going to work hard at finding what I enjoy, and then this way it won't be work. Now that's just my case. Unfortunately, as many of us know, and we can see that there is a large chunk of our population that had parents who worked hard and provided for their kids because they didn't want their children to have to work. And so they did everything for their children, and therefore their children never learned how to do anything other than just want. I want this, and when I want it, all I need to do is complain and somebody will give it to me. And that's sad. One thing that I have also recognized is the following generation, those kids, I can't believe I'm saying that, kids. I've seen quite a few individuals in their early 20s and late teens kind of on the other side of that. And they are driven hard workers. And I look forward to that generation coming around and taking over. Because not that there's anything wrong with my generation or the millennials, but those other kids up and coming, and even my son, you know, he's only 10, but I see a totally different work ethic coming up. And I think it's on the reverse side of it, because we kind of end up being opposites, and it skips a generation. So those are the grandkids of those parents, and a lot of those kids, and I think it's because, like, I look at my ex-wife and I, and we were both shy. We didn't talk much, and because of that, Benjamin, our son, is the complete opposite. He always took control because she and I just just wouldn't. And I think that's outstanding. So I think that has skipped a generation, and I'm looking forward to see what that generation has to bring. Because our intention was not to work so that Benjamin wouldn't. Our intention was to teach Benjamin how to work and how to be independent and how to do things on his own and how to figure out problems. And right from day one, that's what we had taught him. And I think that generation is going to be quite outstanding. And not to say that our generation can't turn. I have made some significant changes in my work ethic over the last few years. And I have seen quite a few people from my generation do the same. And they're busting their butts. They're business owners. They work their tails off doing something that they love. So what side are you on? Where are you at? How did your parents raise you? I'm curious, based upon generations and where you're at. What did your parents teach you? What were their intentions? Did you have parents who had intentions to work hard so that you wouldn't have to? Or did your parents teach you to be independent? I'm curious, kind of taking a poll here. So share below and let me know. Have a great day, everyone.